Hello friends, you are welcome in PVP video classes. I am Pankaj Kumar Tripathi going to present video number A to describe the basic structure of Code of Civil Procedure, that is called as Civil Procedure Code 1908, Act number 5 of 1908. I have classified the basic structure of the code into 4 headings. Primarily, one should go through the background of the code. These are previous codification. The second is the important dates related with the code. The third point is the preamble of code. It means the object for which it has been enacted. And fourth, that is the basic structure of code, that is contents of the code. Okay, so before the code of 1908, several codes have been passed. There are 3 codes. Okay, first was passed in 1859, the second was passed in 1877, and third was passed in 1882. The first was Act number 8 of 1859, the second was Act number 10 of 1877, and third was Act number 14 of 1882. Okay, but no one of the previous codifications fulfilled the object of Civil Procedure Code. So why in 1908 a new code has been passed as Act number 5 of 1908. It means it was passed on 21st March 1908. In the year of 1908, it was the 5th Act. Okay, so the number of this code is Act number 5. The year of passing is 1908, and the important dates, there are 2 dates. Date of passing was 21st March of 1908, and it came in force on 1st January 1909. Okay, it came in force on 1st January 1909. It fulfills the object of, it means how to know the object of the codification through preamble of the code. In its preamble, it provides as an act to consolidate and amend the laws relating to the procedure of the courts of civil judicature. It means the codification has been enacted, the code has been enacted to consolidate and amend. Amend means to make update the laws. Which laws? The laws relating to the procedure of the courts of civil judicature. It means courts of civil nature. It means of civil courts. It means this code is a complete codification of all the procedures to be adopted by a court of civil nature to resolve a matter before it. But it doesn't mean that any other legislation, the provisions related to court proceeding couldn't be legislated. No. Though all the procedures to be adopted by a court of civil nature have been laid down in this code, but even Parliament is empowered to provide some other formalities, to provide some other procedural laws in other legislatures, in other in other acts. So why in several acts which are being passed time to time, some procedural laws are being provided by Parliament. It means there may be a question asked on preamble that whether the code is a complete codification or not, whether the Civil Procedure Code 1908 is a complete codification or not. The answer would be yes, it is complete codification because it has been codified to consolidate all the laws related to Court of Civil Judicature, related to procedure of Court of Civil Judicature. So it is complete procedural law, but it doesn't pass the power of Parliament to provide further proceedings in other acts, in other courts. So there might be some part of civil procedure law in other codifications like Hindu Marriage Act, like Negotiable Instrument Act. Okay, so there may be some other codifications carrying with the provision of civil procedure law. Okay, the contents of the code. The content of the code means, but before going to contents of the code, one point is missing here: the applicability of the code. It has been dealt through section 1 of the code that it extends to the whole of India except A and B. A, the state of Jammu and Kashmir, because of effect of provisions of Article 370 of Constitution of India. It doesn't enforce on the state of Jammu and Kashmir. And B, the state of Nagaland and the tribal areas. Why are Nagaland and the tribal areas, the code are not enforced? The provisions of code are not enforced? Because the tribal area, the people living in tribal areas have their own culture to deal their matter. So it had been thought that it would not be right to enforce the formal civil procedure law or even criminal procedure law to those people where it is not required to be enforced. Okay? Because there are no such problems being arised in those areas like the normal zone of India. Okay? So the code is not enforced because of constitutional reason on Jammu and Kashmir, state of Jammu and Kashmir, and because of cultural difference on tribal areas of India. The tribal areas of India, whole the state of Nagaland is a tribal zone. The tribal zone of India have been declared in Schedule 6 of Indian Constitution. And in other several states like some parts of Meghalaya, some parts of Assam, some parts of Arunachal Pradesh, some parts of Chhattisgarh, some parts of Jharkhand have been declared as tribal areas. In those areas, the whole the code of civil procedure are not enforced. Okay? Now come on the contents of the code. You know that civil procedure code is appear to be very complex one because of its content. The code has been provided in threefold provisions. First, section-wise provisions, then provisions in order, and then appendix. There are 8 appendix attached with, annexed with the code: A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H. Okay? The appendix carrying the forms of several purposes. The formats are forms. Okay? These are not important for you. Okay? But you should go through these once, at least once. But there are 51 orders, 158 sections. The 158 sections have been divided into 11 parts. Not all the sections, but section 9 to 158. It means from section 1 to section 8 have not been provided under any part. It means part 1 begins from section 9. So section 9 to section 158 have been divided into 11 parts. So we have to know two things. Why the provisions have been divided into sections and orders, appendix or formats, okay. But even after providing the formats, otherwise, why the other provisions have been divided into sections and orders, okay, and how it has been divided, how it has been provided, and what have been contained in the 11 parts of the code. It will be discussed in next video under the heading of how to study the Civil Procedure Code 1908. Okay, so enjoy this lecture. We will meet in next video lecture how to read, how to study the code, the Civil Procedure Code. Okay, bye, thank you.